Hello, this is Malorian, and we're now on to the fourth and last game of the Onslaught 2011. So my last game turned out to be against Bretonnians, which was happy for me because, going into this tournament I want to win more games than I lost, and at this point I was at 1 win, 1 loss, and a tie. Going across what we have here, you can see I have the chariot, the archers, orcs with boss, black orcs with war boss and BSB, more orcs with another boss, and then chariot, and on the far right I have my savages with my shaman. And for him, he has his Pegasus Knights, he has some Knights Errant with a Paladin, he has a big unit of Knights of the Realm with a Lord and a BSB, then he has his Archers with a Damsel, and behind them is a Trebuchet, a big unit of Knights with another Lord, another unit there is Grail Knights with a Prophetess, and then he has some more Knights of the Realm on the far right with his mounted yeoman. And the whole thing that was going on here was that it's regular deployment, and then it's an assassination thing, so you get a bunch of extra points for killing characters. And so for him, he has tons of characters for me to kill, which is fantastic. And really all I'm planning to do here is I really know how Brets work. I'm going to move up, stay out of his initial charge range, and then either he'll try to charge me and fail, maybe he'll get in and I'll be stubborn, and if nothing else, I'll just gonna run up and beat him in combat. So should be pretty straightforward and an easy win for my last game. So with his vanguard, he'd moved up his mounted yeoman and his Pegasus Knights on the far left. I went to knock out both with my chariots and got him on the right, but failed to go off the board, which was bad. And then on the left, I just failed to charge altogether. So not a good way to start things off, but at least my line is all set up and ready to go. Brett's turn 1, his Pegasus Knights on the left charge my one chariot, destroy it, or run it down rather, and then they, in doing that, run into my one archers. On the far right, his knights go and beat my chariot, let it run off the board while he just reforms to face me, and then mainly his line is just kind of reforming, and he shoots a rock at my black orcs, which killed 9, and then archers kill another 1. So taking some damage there, but otherwise still looking okay. And now this turn really sucked. So what happened here is that I declare my Wa and I go for all these charges. So the Savage Orcs go after the Knights on the far right, fail. The Orcs on the right go after the Grail Knights, fail the charge. The Black Orcs go after the Archers, who flee, passive leadership to change that against the big unit with the BSB, fail, and then the Orcs on the left try and go for the small unit and fail. So a whole bunch of failures there, which was, some of them were a little bit long, but I should have made at least some of these. And then his Pegasus Knights beat my Archers. So now I'm just really set up for him to have a massive counter charge. So here we have the result. He didn't charge me there on the right, but charged me all over with everything else. 3 units into my left unit, 2 into the right, took some damage. But overall, I was either steadfast or, well, I was steadfast in both. But the other thing to be here that's pretty critical is that building on the top right actually was a dwarven brew house. So I'm stubborn anyway. So he just kind of ran in, got stopped, and now I get to counter. And meanwhile, his trebuchet has exploded. So my turn 3, unfortunately my Savage Orcs failed their animosity, so they didn't get to try and charge, but my Black Orcs go and flank the unit there, beat them all up. I killed the Lord, and then everything broke, so the BSB died from that. So if you look at the very top, he's going to have 2 units that's down to 2 models fleeing. He has his 2 Pegasus running away, and then my Black Orcs just combat reform to see the right. And in that other combat, of course, it's just another. Now that he doesn't have any bonuses, it's just a small little grind fest. His turn 3 starts off with some bad luck for me. His Knights charge me on the right, and they, even though I'm steadfast, I break, and then he runs me down. So that was unfortunate. For his rallies, he rallies with his Pegasus Knights and the small unit, but the big unit needed double 1, so those guys run off, and there's all the points for that. And otherwise, the combat, even though he got those spells off, a buff for +1 strength and toughness on him, and I'm -1 to hit or something, I'm still stubborn, so what do I care? I still hold, and everything's happy. My turn 4, my Black Orcs now hit this big lance, beat them all up. They actually break, and I run them down, which was kind of silly. And now these Grail Knights, I mean, they're just holding on because they're stubborn. His side of 4, these Pegasus Knights make kind of the long charge in. Uh, I kill more of the Grail Knights, but I'm not doing so well because I have that spell on me. And I mean, that made my war boss pretty much fluff all his attacks right there. So whatever, I'm still gonna grind him down. So if he wants to bring more guys, it's no big deal. My turn 5, I kill all the Grail Knights, which is great. Actually, his damsel should be dead too, but we had kind of resolved everything against the Grail Knights, so they're all dead, but I still got this damsel to worry about. Or actually, it's a prophetess. His side of 5, he has his knights that join in here on the right. They go in and they kill some, but I kill the prophetess, and I'm stubborn, so it didn't really matter. And then my turn, last turn, the Black Orcs then hit the knights on the right, beat them all up. Sorry about the blurry picture here. This was the worst one of the tournament. They break, you get away, unfortunately, but that guy's not going to be rallying, so he's going to be run off the board last turn anyway. And then my Orcs are just what's left of them, combat reforming to face the Pegasus Knight. And then his turn. Sorry, one last thing to say about my turn. My Orcs had charged his archers, so they're all dead. The damsel that was with him is dead. The other 2 knights that were up there were dead, and so really all he has was these 2 Pegasus Knights. So an obvious victory to the Orcs. So like I said, it was a victory for the Orcs, but in a way it was not as good of as a game as you'd kind of want in a tournament situation. I mean, really all it was me going up, him charging me, and then just a really slow, drawn out grind type battle where it was just kind of a long game with us just rolling dice, rolling dice, rolling dice, rolling dice, and you want something that's going to have a little bit more action, not just he runs in, sticks, and then I beat him up. Unfortunately, that's kind of what Bretonnians have to deal with in 8th, so I felt bad for him in that way, but then again, I really wanted the second win, so a little bit happy for the way it happened at the same time.